Heavy Door Horror Podcast.
Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
Oh, you cat!
All right. This is the Heavy Door Horror Podcast. My name is Heavy Door Dan, Ganja Zombie, the original Bobby Longjong, the radioactive one, formerly known as Claymation Caligula, coming to you on September 16, 2025 from my palatial suburban estate here in the tropical city of Union in the free-thinking state of California. This is the podcast where we review and discuss horror movies from the cult and B-movie subgenres of horror, specifically focusing on trashy films from the late 70s and 80s. And who knows, we may check out a movie from the early 90s here or there. This week's movie is 1981's Dead and Buried. And before we get into the movie, let's go around the padded room for our safety and introduce the irregulars, I should say, starting with, let's see, give me 1 second, guys.
Daddy!
All right, what do you got for us?
What's up, guys? Good evening. Welcome back. I'm kind of saying that more to myself than to you guys.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It's good to be here and looking forward to it. Looking forward to this podcast.
Hey, Eric. How you doing, Eric?
Going down there.
Oh, not much. Just ready to dive into this 1981 classic.
Yeah, for sure.
So there we go.
Now, Kim, what do you have to say for yourself?
What do you got going on, Kim?
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm just chilling. It's nice and beautiful out here in California.
All right, man. Well, let's get into the movie. So let's see. 1981's Dead and Buried. So let's start out with a few statistics. IMDb. This is a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb with over 16,000 reviews. So a lot of people have seen this movie. It's been a few years, but I do know that people are fond of this film, and actually some people have gone out of their way to make a big deal out of it on a couple of different websites I saw. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's 71% by the critics and 59% by the viewers, which, usually when you get the critics review higher than the audience, it's usually a more intelligent movie, some people say, because the audience tends to just kind of like what they like, whereas the critics just claim that they like good film, whatever. And then,
I guess I'm unintelligent. Then. I guess that's what that
We
means.
probably all fall into the other category for sure. So I stopped using that one website that will not be named and started using Metacritics. And Metacritic is giving this movie a 71 out of 100. There was 71 out of 100 for those are the Metacritics, and then the users that use Metacritic that submit their own reviews, they gave it a 6.6 out of 10. But it was just a couple people. So let's see, what do we got here? So some alternate taglines for Dead and Buried are some people are dead and don't know it. That's kind of interesting, I thought.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's not bad.
Uh,
The writers of Alien bring a new terror to Earth. That's a stretch.
Yeah, that one's terrible.
I think they just want to say the word alien in the
Yeah, that one's terrible.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Trying to get some traction from the Alien movie. Like,
Right.
oh,
Pretty bad. And then, the last one I had here was what does it say? A new dimension in horror.
I've heard that before. I've heard that, but that's kind of a generic.
That sounds like that's like. That sounds like it's just like super generic.
Yeah, they just slap it on every movie
Right.
or every other movie. Right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
let's-
New Line Cinema.
yeah.
The new.
This is the new dimension. I bet you if you watch enough New Line Cinema trailers, you see that at least twice.
A new dimension in horror.
Let's see. So international titles. In France, it's known as Reincarnations or Reincarnations, however you want to pronounce it. I don't speak French. In Spain, it was Muertos y Enterrados. In Italy, it was Morte y Sepolti. In Germany, it was Tod und Begraben. Tod und Begraben.
Gotta love the German.
I'm getting good at this German shit. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then there's also in the Netherlands, it was known as Dude and Begraben. And then there's a few more. Portugal, there was a Cidade dos Muertos Vivos. And there's a million other ones here. Some of these I can't even pronounce. But let's just, one thing I will share with you is in most Latin countries, it was known as Muertos y Enterrados. That much I do know. All right, so let's get into it. Even in Jamaica, it was known as Muertos y Enterrados. Go figure. I think they might have made it that. All right, well, let's go.
Yeah, they might have.
And they
They
took
might
it
have.
too far. I mean, they gave me the alternate title for like countries like Bouvet Island and Clipperton. Fucking, I didn't. Oh, this shit, it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, all right. Good. What did you say? Dude, they gave
That's a maybe you should start. We should try and start getting it from like India. I mean, it might be really hard to pronunciate, but it might be fun. You know,
there's like King
some Asian countries. You know.
British Antarctic territories. I mean, I didn't need any of this. But anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, so let's get into it, man. Dead and Buried from 1981. So basically opening up at Arrival at Potter's Bluff. It starts with some depressing ass music, I thought. I don't know if everybody.
I wrote this. I said, "What the fuck are we listening to?" This music. I was like, "Oh no."
That was music that ends your life too, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that was shotgun in your mouth, Kurt Cobain on the couch. Boom.
Depressing ass music, and not to mention the black and white intro too. And they fade in on a beachfront, and it turns out the black and white is because he's looking through a lens, right? He's looking through his lens.
This guy's a fucking photographer, and I was like, I ran it down. I said, I don't like this beginning, and I went, "You're so deep, bro," because he's taking pictures of like the chain link fence and the spider web. Like, oh man, you're so deep and dark. Ooh, yeah, fuck you.
Black and white.
Yeah.
So basically, he's on the beach taking photos. They've mentioned here at this point, this is when Stan Winston's name pops up on the screen, and he's a great, legendary, kind of like a Tom Savini makeup guy. He's up there with the best of the best.
That's news to me. That's cool.
Yeah, Stan Winston. Yeah. And so we get the VW bus in the background on the beach. We meet George Lemoyne. And he's setting up for photos on the beach, taking shots of sandpipers, like you said, garbage can. He takes a picture of a garbage can and shit like that. And so basically, an amateur photographer finds himself in the quiet seaside town of Potter's Bluff. And basically, he's down on the beach taking photos, and all of a sudden he pans out, and there is a hot blonde chick with a red blouse on.
And this is when I said, "Okay, movie." Now you got me. Like, let's go. Let's go.
That's when you said, "Okay, movie." Show me. Boy, I tell you, this fucking podcast, man. There's not going to be a lot of women subscribing to this. So yeah, we meet George Lemoyne again. He pans back with the camera, and we meet Lisa, and we spot a hottie in his viewfinder. And she starts flirting with him, and she's like asking him if she's beautiful, and this and that, and she asks him if he's famous. And then we get into the guessing game. Let me guess your name, right? Does she ask him that? I believe?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. She's like, "Oh, are you famous? Do you do this for a living? Do you do that for a living?" And then comes to find out that he is a photographer for a living. Yeah. At least that's what he's telling.
And he says something about, "I can be Freddie and you can be Lisa." And he starts taking her pictures.
Right.
And he's like, "You're a natural, babe." And she's posing for all the pictures. And all of a sudden, bam!
Oops. Yeah. A good scene. Good scene.
So
It's a great scene.
So while photographing him, so George is photographing Lisa, and then all of a sudden, all these townspeople kind of show up on the beach, right? And
they came out of nowhere, man. Like,
they came up like that.
one second it's just the two of them, and the next second, bam, there's 30 people on the beach, and
there's some shit.
So
basically, the playful mood goes out the window, and the mob of townspeople surround George, and they basically brutally attack his ass. And he's mugged by the sailors, and they tie him up to a post. And they tie him to a post, and they douse him in gasoline and set him on fire.
As he says, "Welcome to Potter's Bluff," and fucking starts dousing him with gasoline. That's a catchphrase of fucking catchphrases, man.
I would like to also say this: like, they're at a secluded beach. I mean, it's a small town, There's no cell phone. I mean, this is 1981. There's no cell phones. How did all these people know to show up? I mean, where did they get this kind of coordination? Kind of, I mean, it was pretty wild.
Oh,
It was pretty wild.
Second week in a row where it's a fucked up town full of people, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Eddie said, welcome to Potter's Bluff, gasoline, and poof, and they set him on fire, and they started taking pictures of him, right, with his own camera.
And many other cameras.
and hell other cameras.
Every vigilante, yeah, has either a Polaroid camera or a little. I mean, I can't.
Hey, and those
I
old
can't
school
name 'em.
cameras with
Yeah.
the old school cameras where you had to take they had the cubes, like the light cubes and shit
Yeah, the
like
flash. The
that. Hey,
flash.
man, like for the flash, but it's like, those light cubes, like I don't know if you guys remember, but those motherfuckers used to be hella bright. So when the shit pops off, it'd be like poof, you'd be blind, like you'd be blinded by the light from those things, like
Yeah. Hence the song "Blinded by the Light."
yeah, added. I mean, God, man, I remember just fucking with the snow cubes, man.
I beg to. I disagree, Danny. I think getting out of the limo, photo bombs going off, boom.
Oh, let me mark this cut 11. So let's see. So yeah, so after they basically set his ass on fire on the beach and have a barbecue, that's the end of the scene, and they pan to like the city plaque on the outside of town, right? And it says Potter's Bluff, a new way of life.
Yeah, and when I saw this, and you find out later, I couldn't figure out why. I was like, are they in like on the West Coast, East Coast?
I thought it was
couldn't figure it out.
New England. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess come to find out, yes, it is New England.
So that's the end of that scene. So basically, we're now on the cops have showed up at the beach there with the body. That found the beach. The body's. I think is he still on fire? Are there still flames or something when they get there or not?
He's smoldering. Smoldering for sure.
And then we meet. So there's a car pulling up, and then the cops had requested a meat wagon, and the car's pulling up, and one of the cops says, "Oh, here comes Dobbs," right? And it turns out it's the town mortician, right? That's Dobbs, right? Not next one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he shows up in some nice
yeah.
car, a nice big long Cadillac stretch car, whatever, playing Louis Armstrong or something like that. He's a chill, very eccentric kind of guy, right? And he's playing it's a song called "May the Angels Sing" from 1938. I think they announced it on the radio or something like that. So I typed up something about the cause of death, and that's right. So they were going over the cause of death, and then because they assume he's dead, because they're looking at him, they're like, "This guy's fried," this and the other thing. And Dobbs basically says, they're going over the cause of death with one of the cops, and then all of a sudden George, who we all thought was dead, starts screaming and freaks the fuck everybody out, and that's the end of that scene. So basically George is still alive apparently. So next scene, we're in a local cafe, and there's some folks in the cafe talking back and forth with, I think it was the cop, right? And one of the locals is none other than Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Robert England.
Oh shit.
One of those guys.
Yeah.
Robert England.
Robert England.
So they're basically razzing the cops or whatever. And at some point, you hear some dude's like, "Midge, where's my fucking coffee?" I think the cop was yelling about the coffee because he just wanted to get the hell out of here or something.
That's the cop is Sheriff Dan, correct?
Yeah.
Dan.
And she says, and Sheriff Dan says something about the beach, the body on the beach. And Midge's comments seem really disingenuous because she's kind of like, "Oh, that's just awful," I tells you. Anyway, and she's kind of wanders off like she does not seem too concerned about it at all, So scene, we're back at the docks, and there's an old singer singing some, fucking singing some sea shanty or whatever the fuck he's singing about. He's drunk, and he's all talking about, "Don't tell me about boats. I know boats. God damn it, I've dated many boats. I've had so many goddamn boats." And he's just talking to nobody. He's just drunk, right? And fucking, he's like,
yeah. I wrote down he's the wonderful town drunk.
Imagine like Popeye drunk and angry with olive oil. He's like, "You're telling him."
or without it, like olive oil is left and now is with Bluto. and now he's fallen into this straight drunken depression. I said, I'm a fucking
I am when I know boats. I tell you about boats.
fuck spinach. Give me the whiskey.
Yeah. So boom, some dude shows up and wraps like a rope around his neck, right? All of a sudden, and we hear somebody say "smile," and they took a snapshot of him. And then he is slashed with a harpoon and gutted.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, fucking
And his throat.
photography in this movie is a big deal. It's a big deal. As we
Oh
photography.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah, they take a lot of
picture.
pictures.
Taking pictures. It's just. I mean,
Take a
we
lot of
saw it in the
pictures.
first scene, and now we're seeing it again.
What the point of the pictures is, right? We'll get you. Yeah, we'll get you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, at the end, yeah.
So he gets gutted on the whole man with fighting with nobody or whatever, but he gets gutted, and we end that scene. And we're off to again, well, with Dan. Dan Gillis is the sheriff. And he's investigating the different murders that have been taking place recently in what is this town called again? Potter's Bluff.
Potter's Bluff.
And so he heads over to the eccentric town coroner, the mortician, basically. How can you be the coroner and the mortician?
Well, it's a small town, so you're talking about Mortician Dobbs, the mortician, Mr. Dobbs. Yeah. And I don't know where, but Mr. Dobbs, he reminded me of somebody. Maybe we'll figure that out later from another movie. I'm not sure. But okay. All right. That's not where my mind went, but
So we're Dan's with Dobbs in his office. He's putting a record on or whatever, right? And he's dancing up to the corpse. So we learned pretty much right out the gate. Dobbs is just in love with dead bodies and how he can basically rebuild them, right?
he loves his job.
And he's pissed
He loves
because
his
basically
job.
the sheriff interrupted him in the middle of his job. And he's hassling his assistant. The assistant brings the sheriff in, and basically Dobbs is hassling the assistant about how, he's probably here for the weed you're selling, young man, and blah blah blah. Or he's all hassling and all that shit. I thought that was all pretty funny. And so,
Right,
yeah,
dry
he's
snitching.
basically trying to out Jimmy about his weed dealing, more or less, right? Dobbs is basically preoccupied as the sheriff has to go and turn off the music to get his attention. And there's a back and forth about performing miracles with dead bodies. And this is where we get into the whole thing about how Dobbs is the master of rebuilding people's faces and post-mortem and all this stuff.
He is very, very passionate about his job, about making everybody look the best they can when they go into the ground. And so red flag right there. Red flag.
Yeah.
What was the statement he made? He said, how did the line go? He said, like a cosmetologist makes people beautiful, but for him, he's like, he makes people. God, I can't remember the line right now. Damn it.
Yeah. He was talking about makeup. He was like, all you do is just slap makeup on them. And he was like, I do more than that. I'm like an artist. And yeah.
Yeah.
Make art. Performing miracles with dead bodies. There's so much banter. I just kind of got annoyed. They were just going back and forth about all this time. It's like, we get it. He's in love with that, and you don't care. And they were just kind of arguing, and I was like, can we move on? Which I thought was kind of silly myself. So the sheriff Dan has a hypothesis about George's murder. And there's get the phone call about a dead body at the boatyard. So basically now, as he's trying to deal with this one murder that's on his hands, they're like, look, we found another body, all right? So we are now at the beach. They found another dead body at the beach, and Dan's scratching his head, and that's a really short, sweet scene. They kind of move on, they find the body, they move on. So the next scene, they're at a hotel, and we meet Ben. And who's Ben? Remind me who Ben is again?
Ben is the guy that got burnt in the beginning.
No, that's George. That's George.
No, isn't Ben the proprietor of the hotel? Or am I incorrect?
Yeah, we meet Ben. Yeah, that's right. Because he is at the hotel, right? And basically, they're looking at the books, and he's saying that he checked in,
Right.
but he never checked out because he has a hunch.
Right.
And he
Yeah.
goes, and
Yeah.
first thing he does is go to and he asked Ben if he had any people that kind of checked in and are still in, but you haven't seen them, or if they checked in but didn't check out. And sure enough, this person checked in, checked out. He asks for the names, just check the registration. So he checks the red, goes up to the room, and I lost my notes here. Where are we at? So he asks, he answered the page, says your wife stopped in. Oh, something about how your wife had stopped in to see him. You guys remember that part? Right. So she,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben, he's a doctor, right?
No, Ben is the proprietor of the hotel
Yeah.
in this one fucking podunk town of Potter's Club.
Yeah. Okay.
One
so
Okay.
motel.
we've
Yeah.
seen. So basically, now we're at the sheriff's house. Um, and oh, that was the thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So basically, he confronted her about the guy that was selling the photo equipment right to the school. Have we gotten to that? But we did, right? Yeah, he had a
Yes.
short conversation with a guy who sold photography equipment to the school. And then he goes and confronts his wife about that, who he is. And basically she says, "Oh, Dan, he sells photo equipment to the school. It's nothing, right?" And hug me, Dan. And she gives him a big hug, whatever. And that's the end of that thing. So basically he's trying to suss her out, and she has an excuse right there, ready to go. Boom. So, scene, we're back. Sheriff's back in town. And if somebody's calling for a Mr. Haskell, and we hear, "Hello, young man." And Haskell says, "Sheriff, something about the sheriff's wife is full of shit." Did you catch that scene? Because because of the
He's talking to the Mr. Haskell or whatever that guy's name is. Isn't that the principal of the school? And he's questioning him about the purchase of the photography equipment.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to say, or goes on to say, that
Right.
we didn't purchase anything. I would know about it if we did. Your wife is full of shit. She's she's feeling,
yeah, she's
fucking giving you a line, like there we
yeah, okay.
yeah.
So end scene, we're at the hospital now. And they're checking the charts. They're giving again. This is back to George, who's still alive in the hospital, right? And they're giving him
Mhm.
talking about how they gave him 50 cc's or something like that. And the sheriff shows up, and they're talking to the doctor, and the doctor's like, it's been really touch and go. Dan wants to know if he could talk to him, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea." And he sits Dan, and he sits Dan.
Yeah, and this guy is fully bandaged, like head to toe, because he got burned alive. And
And he
it
says,
doesn't look good.
Dan says, "Can I talk to him?" And the doctor says, "Dan, why don't you sit down?" Yeah. And he goes, "He has no lips." And I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good line. Pretty good line.
yeah." So and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, so basically now we're in the room with the dude in the bed, and a nurse walks in, and it turns out it's Lisa, and you could tell that yeah, and you could tell
Oh
he's not
boy.
feeling it.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like looking at her like, "What the fuck?" But he can't move or whatever, right? And she pulls out this fucking huge goddamn syringe. It's like a good fucking 12 inches long. And she's fucking stabs him straight in the fucking eyeball. And I was not expecting that. Shit caught me so off
Yeah.
guard. I was like,
Oh,
I thought she was just gonna shoot him in the arm,
Yeah.
put him to sleep or something, like to death or whatever.
yeah.
No, she just
No, right in the eyeball. Right in the eyeball.
fucking
Right in the eye.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal, and that's the girl that showed that, and he probably felt some type of way with the girl because she had, he met her on the beach, and they were fooling around a little bit, and then bam,
probably
murders
thought he was
him,
gonna be sleeping.
murdered. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thing
Yeah.
plunges and plunges the 12-inch nail into his eye. And that's the end of that scene, basically. George, let's see. So Okay, where are we at here? Lisa did. Yeah. So now we're in the graveyard. Graveyard digging. Dobbs shows up and starts hassling the sheriff. He says something about how you screwed me out of a paycheck. Is that because George was still alive? Is that what that's all about?
Yeah, yeah, because now he couldn't dig the grave for the body. Yeah.
No, because Dobbs is there. Dobbs
I know,
is saying like basically he had an
everybody.
opportunity to work on
Yeah.
that face, and now he doesn't, or something like that, right?
Oh, right. Well, everybody in this town is fucked. I mean, yeah. But even at this point, where there's not very subtle hints of the town, not a good place to be. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, just a bit.
So somebody screwed me out of a paycheck. Sheriff basically tells, and he says, "Fuck you, Dobbs," whatever, right? So we're back at the sheriff's office, and his wife gets home. His wife's very hot, but let me just throw it out there. Is she very?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you mean Sheriff Dan's wife? Oh yeah, she's smoke shop.
Yeah.
Oh, smoke shop.
No,
Yeah.
Janet.
So yeah, wifey gets home. Honey, I'm home, and the sheriff's waiting in the dark. He's like, "Where you been? This is scary. It's like some fucking like domestic violence scene or some shit, right? Where you been?" And apparently she's heading out to a PTA meeting or whatever the hell it is, and asks him if he wants to go.
Right, because she's one of the teachers in the town school. Yeah.
And he's like, "No thanks, I've got work to do." And she's like, "Oh right, the murders or whatever." I forgot all about that. Yeah. And she's like, "I gotta go," and she bails out of there.
Yeah, thanks for the support, wifey.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
Leaves.
"Oh, you got all the murders."
I gotta
I'll let
go.
you get back to your murders. I got you. So yeah, Dan basically knows that she's acting out weird now. A little odd behavior, but he can't put his finger on it. She seems detached and evasive, which makes him more uncomfortable. Yeah.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
so at some point he asks the woman, he asks his wife to drop off a roll of film on the way out the door.
Yeah, who was that? The film guy was Ernie, I believe. I don't know who plays a part in this. He has a photo store or whatever because as we did back in the early '80s and '90s had to develop film.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now we're outside of the cafe.
Yeah.
That's inside the town. There's a man with his wife and kid there. They're like lost travelers asking for directions. They're trying to find the Seaview Lounge, and I think it's
Oh yeah, this poor family. I felt really bad
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for them.
Damn. Family was. Oh, they're like, we have a hurt child, and then they're just like trying to get help for their kid, and they just
they're looking for the Seaview Lounge,
fuck,
and
man.
I think it's the nurse that they keep showing at the cafe that's giving them directions, telling them to take Highway 12. So the wife and kid walks in and he wants ice cream, so they go to get him some ice cream, and then he asks about gas, and the attendant just happens to be there eating. And I guess, let's see. So at some point, they get back in the car, and the road is all foggy, and he veers off the road and hits a telephone pole. Right. This is the the
Yeah.
father of this lost family. Right. Yeah.
Right, yeah. There's three of them. There's a
Doesn't
mother, father,
leave the wife
and
and
young
kid there
young child.
and just goes to get the gas or something like that, or were they all three? Were they all
Well,
three in the car when they?
so
Okay.
they were all three, I believe. And then don't they end up at our hotel,
Yeah, they end up at a
or
house.
they end up at a house?
Yeah. It's like an abandoned house.
They go to this house.
Okay.
Yeah,
She says she saw a light. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
thought she saw a light.
When they get up to the house, the first thing, of course, the door's open. Okay, we need to start writing down the rules of war. Don't fucking go in the house if the door's unlocked. It's just number one, that's against the law.
Man.
Well, and not unless you're ready and suited and booted. I mean, you got shotguns. I mean, flashlights, shotguns, and you're ready to go.
So doors
I'm not going anywhere
question mark. They
without that.
they walk right in. No one's home. There's cobwebs everywhere. The place looks like it hasn't been, lived in for a while. And then all of a sudden the piano slams closed just out of the blue, right? And the wife's like freaking out this way, just freaking out. She's like, right? She's like kind of hassling him, fucking trying to wrap up the kid, freaking out on her own, freaking out about the house. I mean, she's driving me fucking crazy.
I mean, I have to say this: the man would have been better off leaving the kid and the wife in the car locked
Yeah.
than taking him into the house. Yeah, usually, that's kind of
Sure.
my sentiment, I
Yeah,
guess.
so basically, she's like, go check the fucking house. So the husband goes to check the house. I mean, he's in the basement, right? And at some point, he's in the basement, and the wife's calling out, Ronnie, and the wife's getting scared. Again, she's fucking she needs to settle the fuck down.
Well, there's no lights. She shouldn't be there. All right, so that one's kind of on him. I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe he wants to keep them together, like we're safer together. But at the same time, in this situation, go check the place out first by yourself, and then come get your family if it's safe.
The wife's calling down to Ronnie,
Yeah.
and he's not answering. She's freaking out. She's getting real scared. And then all of a sudden, a guy with a fucking meat cleaver comes fucking through the goddamn window, just fucking like a goddamn lunatic, right? And next thing, all of the fucking and starts. So he comes through the fucking window with a meat cleaver, and then all of a sudden, there's people everywhere taking photographs, and they start coming through the other windows, basically, right? And the whole town is just in a frenzy, terrorizing the shit out of this family coming in through the windows. There's a cameraman there's like literally a dude there with lights just to light up the scene to make it better for taking photography.
Yeah, and so we see this like every townsperson is there. I mean, again, they coordinated this shit somehow, some way on without cell phones, without I mean, I guess just with telephones or word of mouth that, hey, we, in this foggy ass night, we're gonna get these people to go into this fucking dark and stormy house, crazy house, and we're all gonna be there. And I will say this about this movie: they do give everybody their due. Like every townsperson gets a facial shot. It gets a close up of like, oh, I'm gonna take my picture, and you're like, oh, there's that guy, or there's this guy, or this lady, that lady. Yeah. So I mean, as far as getting notoriety for being an actor, it was good. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a cameraman. So basically,
That's right.
The house, and there's a cameraman outside with like a lighting rig, basically. And they managed to get back to their car. And then here comes the town people, and guess what? The car won't start. Go fucking
car don't start. Car don't start. Yeah, you gotta turn it over 3 or 4 times.
Suddenly, there's somebody in the back seat, jumps, grabs the fucking kid, and then rips part of somebody's head gets ripped off or something, like a mask or something. Did you guys catch that? So yeah, basically, she looks out through the fucking window, and the town is coming down the driveway. And someone is on the hood of their car, and they're out of there, right? And at this point, we're gonna go ahead and don't. So basically, they don't end up dying, don't they? End up getting the car started, and they tear out of there. Yeah.
Well, they tear out of there, but it didn't start because it was a Ford. Because later in the scenes, we find out the guy, the auto mechanic, or not the record guy who drives tow truck, is pulling out a late model Ford out of the ocean.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they got.
Let's take a quick break.
You're listening to the Heavy Door Horror Podcast. You're welcome.
And we're back. All right. So let's see. Where are we at? So yeah, basically, so the townsfolk, the lost traveler family managed to get away, we think, but at this point we don't know for sure. Although we've already spoiled it. So let's see. So next scene we got the sheriff sees the car fly by. Yeah, so he sees the family in the car go flying by. And at this point, he finds a body in the road, right?
Well, he almost he's coming up to the intersection. He almost runs into him, almost T-bones him as they're flying, as they should, as they should. They're getting the hell out of there.
They're like flying straight down Main Street. He's coming down the side road,
Right.
and he basically
And so and then after seeing that, he tears ass off after him.
Right.
And then bam, hits somebody.
Yeah, he hits somebody, finds a body in the road, and he's inspecting the body. And he's inspecting the body, and then he turns and he sees that there's a human hand, stuck
like a whole forearm.
Yes,
and not just a hand, a whole forearm on his grill of his.
stuck to the grill, and it's still moving around.
And then it starts like zombie hand.
Yeah.
And
gotta get that.
So so basically during the chase, Dan struck this person, and later discovers a severed arm lodged in the grill. It's still twitching. And then all of a sudden the dude that he hit jumps up and grabs his fucking hand and then just takes off running. Right?
Well, and prior to that, he fucking knocks Dan in the back of the head, and that kind of knocks him out halfway, and it's like, and grabs his arm and then tears his ass off and jumps over a fence, and it's like, I'm gone. And Dan's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Dude, I mean, at that point, why didn't he just finish off the cop? Right? Why?
I guess we find, I mean.
No, we know why. We know why it
works,
I guess that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So basically, the dude takes off running, and then Dan chases after him. He's searching through a barn, right? And he finds some birds scared the shit out of him, right? There's something, right?
Yeah. And he gets scared by some birds and busts off around, Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I wrote down chicken much. So that's scene. So we're back at the sheriff's house. And he's looking for shells, right? He's asking the wife where his shells are, right? For a shotgun.
Yeah, she's a real bitch in this scene,
Yeah.
And he's looking for the shells where they're supposed to, where she tells him they are, I think, right? And when he goes in there, in the drawer with the shells, he finds a book of witchcraft.
And a knife.
Yeah,
and a knife.
And a dagger, right? Yeah, and he opens up to the bookmark in the book of witchcraft. And it's like, Janice, where did you get these? And then she's like, they're from my class. And he's like, why? Right? And she, basically, she's like, I'm teaching them about witchcraft. Or what is she? She gives them
what?
Voodoo, witchcraft. She's kind of like, I got to keep them stimulated. I want to keep them entertained in the class. If I don't, they just drift.
Yeah. And she sold me. I was like, 12. That makes sense. I'm like, okay, no problem.
I think this is the it's kind of like the turning point of where she kind of switched personality, I want to say. Right? Because before this she was kind of like nice, and then she got darker right at this point right here.
Yeah. So for the class, she tells them for the class, and then he asked, did you drop off the film? And at some point he didn't find the shells, but we find out that she has them.
Yeah. She says, I found them, and then she tosses them to him.
She's after he was all accusatory and all this shit. She's like, "Here's your fucking shells, douchebag," right?
Pretty much.
Just gotta have the last word, kind of thing. So we're at
as they do.
Yeah. So we're at the photomat, and that's Ernie. Is the dude at the photomat. And Ernie is eating like what looks like a bowl of gruel. Like, I don't know if you guys caught that. It just looked like a bowl of gruel. Like quite literally.
Yeah.
And Dobbs wants to get paid and keep up the good work. So basically, what he's hinting at, what? Did you guys understand what the mortician here was getting at? I didn't really pick up on this. We'd have to go back and watch it. But basically, I think Dobbs is basically saying that, all the dead bodies that are coming in are basically getting him paid, and it's giving him the opportunity to continue his work. I think is more or less what the exchange is about.
He needs to, I mean, if he ain't working on dead bodies, he ain't eating. So, so he needs dead bodies.
Yeah. And on top of that, he just enjoys what he does.
Sir, very much so.
Yeah. So we cut to another scene where it's the cops at a beach and they're pulling out the late model Ford out of the ocean. And it's something about how the only thing that was inside, no bodies, but there was a toy airplane. Is what the
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what the deputy, or not deputy, that's what the tow truck driver says
yeah.
over the CB radio or whatever.
Yeah. So so now Dan's back in his car and he's scraping. He decides that he's going to scrape, try and scrape some sort of DNA, basically, right, off of the grill.
Yeah, like skin follicle or skin follicles or whatever, skin off the grill from where he hit the hit, where he hit the person that he thought he killed, that severed his forearm and then got up and ran away and knocked him out. Yeah. And he's going to take that to the doctor of the town.
Yeah, so he's taking it from the grill. I didn't know they could do that type of DNA in 1981.
Well,
Yeah, they didn't do. He wasn't doing DNA. He was just looking at how long the tissue has been dead for.
yeah,
Yeah, because he was like, I kept testing and I kept testing, and the results came the same. And that 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 thing's been dead for months now.
Months.
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, and the doc asked him. He's like, well, this isn't a recent hit and run, right? Because the sheriff Dan kind of just plays it off like, oh, it was a hit and run. I just want you to check this out. He wasn't implicating himself in the accident. And the doctor goes, well, this must have been months ago because the skin has been dead for months. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's taking the DNA and he requests a quick turnaround on the DNA. And at some point, Ben comes in all freaked out and says, I just saw a dead guy. And he says, it's the same guy. And basically, so somebody that they had killed that is reanimated basically is now in town, but is a different person or something, right?
which I believe is the photographer from the beginning of the movie, George. I think is kind of his name. He's like, hey, you went and looked at his room. I don't know what happened to him. I just went down to the service station, the gas station, and I just saw him working there. You got to come check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he says, I mean, you could even ask your wife, So so next scene we're at in the class. We're at what's her name? Janice's class. I'm in her classroom. And on the chalkboard it says Voodoo and the Undead. Which if I went to school and walked in on my kids and that was on the board, I'd be like, hold on. Just a quick question. What the fuck is going on here?
What is the curriculum for this semester? This is what we're teaching.
Yeah, this is a weird one because I didn't send him to school with Hemlock today, but I'll know for next time.
Yeah, right.
But, so she's joking with the class, teaching them about the Abbott and the Walking Dead, and that they had cut out their hearts and all this stuff. And Dan seems all very uncomfortable with all this when she's just telling them, she's just teaching, right? So he he basically shows up in the school and dips in on her, just checks her out doing the whole class, and then she leaves, right? They don't really interface at all there.
Not too much. No, I mean he kind of observes what she's teaching in the classroom, and then that's kind of it. Yeah.
So next scene, he's driving he's driving through town, and what is that? A Maverick? It looked like. And he has I guess the gas station. He asked Freddie to check the hood.
Well, I think there he was trying to kind of set up his wife to see if George, the photographer from the beginning, was working there and if she recognized him.
Okay.
Because the hotel proprietor had come in and said, ask her wife, I saw him working at the service station. So he wants to see if she has a reaction, basically, to seeing this person that we believe to be dead. And if he's up and walking around, there would be a reaction, one would think.
So
I'm getting kind of like I'm getting an echo with you, Eric. I don't know if anybody else can hear it. Say something. Eric?
Hello.
Yeah, you
A
guys don't
little
hear the
bit.
echo?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I hear a little bit echo.
Yeah, it's like a little bit. It's not a big deal. Uh-oh. I don't.
Mark the time, Danny, so we can cut this out.
Understood. Um, yeah, I did notice it a little bit earlier. What else could it be?
Um, it's only happening with Eric when Eric's talking.
You don't have the
Hello?
volume up on your computer. It's only on your headphones, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Here, I'll hit mute on that. Here. Is that any better?
He-
Oh, now, yeah, I just muted. Yeah, hold on.
Still a little echo. I can hear myself echo. Well,
Yeah, I can hear
Hello?
you too.
Yeah, I kind of heard it.
Computer,
I heard it
stop.
a little bit, but it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah,
Computer
no
silent.
big deal. We can
Yeah,
we can move forward.
yeah.
Yeah, so basically he tries to get a rise out of the wife when to see if she notices that it's the dude from the earlier in the movie. So now we've seen and basically she doesn't react, right?
Well, I don't, and I don't think they should. I don't think Guy George. I believe his name was George, the photographer. Um, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't come out. He doesn't appear. We don't see him. So it was kind of. The trick
Yeah.
didn't work. That he was trying to pull on his
So
wife.
see where we see a hitchhiker on the side of the road and a old blue pickup truck picks her up, and the first thing the old man says to her is, "How do you know I'm not a dirty old man?" That's like,
Which I find that pretty hard, because it's totally random. You go from that scene to just a random scene on the side of the road and some girl hitchhiking.
and I guess she says her name is Chance, right? Which is and as they drive
Yeah.
away, I noticed that you notice the back window of the truck's blown out. We never
Yep,
actually
yep.
see the guy driving. We never see his face. They never show it. And they get to some location. And he says, "Wait here, I'll be back." Right?
Well, they get to like his dry dock. Like he's got a boat that's dry docked on
Yeah,
a
it's a
trailer,
boat.
and he said, "Oh, this is where I live. I got to stop and grab something." You And he's like, "Yeah, all my life." And then he reaches into the glove box and dun 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 pulls out a camera.
Pulls
And
out a camera.
smile
Like,
and fucking takes
yeah.
a little picture of her. And as Eddie had alluded to earlier, fucking flash bombs with one of those flashes back in the day, one of those cubes. And she's like, "I can't see," and she's promptly on the ground in the mud. Now accosted by again the whole town.
Basically, the first
Uh,
two that jump on her are Freddy Krueger. I put Freddy Krueger and the German doctor from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Because it's
oh, nice. And again,
Wow.
I'm going
Yeah.
to reiterate, how do these people coordinate these fucking things so well? I mean, the timing is perfect.
they got
It's perfect.
Timing.
Yeah, I mean, they're DMing, instant messaging each other like, "Oh, I'm pulling up to my boat. Come on, I'm ready to come out."
What what's the what's the
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, I guess unless the town is only like 3 minutes in every direction from every point, you're at, it's pretty spot on with their coordination and timing.
This is not an advertisement for WhatsApp, okay? So just please. So she gets abducted and gets and she gets a rock to the face, right?
Abducted.
Oh, yeah.
She gets murdered. I mean, violently murdered with a good sized rock to the freaking boulder of this thing.
Sheriff basically finds her, right? Like they kind of cut to an added scene where he basically finds her body. Isn't that what happens? Yeah, right. Right before they cut the scene.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cut to they're at the mortuary and Dobbs looking at the body. This whole scene's really uncomfortable because he's just kind of like he gets to work and he cuts. We get like a kind of a time lapse thing, right, where he kind of cuts the.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought
He
this
skins
scene
her
was actually
to the bone.
awesome.
Very cool.
No,
Very cool.
no. He cuts like all the flesh and everything off of her and whatnot, and like basically reconstruct the whole human face. You get to see it. Yeah, I thought it was. It's
He breaks her
actually
down to gelatin.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that underneath that we're that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the way down to the rebuilds of face, like it's a time lapse thing. Like you said, really cool special effects. Again, I think this is Stan Winston at work. And
Okay.
he puts the last thing he does puts an eyeball in your head. It's all squishy. It's like it's all nasty. That shit is gross, dude.
Yeah.
And he says, basically it's a masterpiece, and he gives the body a kiss on the forehead. And right before the end of that scene, I said, didn't he kind of fuck up her nose? Wasn't her nose just a little off?
I mean, there was some big nostrils there. I mean, she could have done some good lines, but I can't remember if that's what it looked like pre boulder to the face or not.
Yeah. So, and then he closes the door, and all of a sudden there's someone in the room, right? And he touches Chance's face again, and she comes back to life right then and there. Right? Isn't that what happens there? Yeah, it happens all very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, she sits up like like a zombie would or whatever. Like,
Like, oh man, you're done. Go. But so.
I don't know. Again, like you said, it might have been a time lapse.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way they.
But they didn't want to show. They didn't want to show how he brings them back to life. Remember, in the end, he was all, "This is my secret. I'm gonna take it to the grave with me." Yeah. So they didn't want to show.
We still don't know who's bringing them back to life. I mean, we have
not yet. Not at this point.
obvious assumptions, but
So now I'm back at him, and again, this whole thing. So Dan is at the what is it? The doctor's office that's providing him with the lab results regarding the skin. Yeah.
the skin samples.
Yeah,
The skin samples.
Was dead 3 to 4 months basically. I don't know if they went over this earlier in the movie, but they do go over it again at this point. Dan insists he's wrong. And then we see the same doctor in the lab again playing with the microscope, and so he has them retested or whatever. And Dan leaves, and we see the doctor's same lab, on a microscope now, and he's looking at the stuff under the microscope, and he's saying it can't be. It can't be. And he picks up the phone, and he dials a number, and calls like the sheriff's office, right? Basically.
Yeah.
And so as he's making that call, Freddy Krueger and the nurse from the Indiana Jones movie show up out of nowhere. Again, they're on that WhatsApp. No ads, by the way.
Good. The whole fucking town, just like that.
Basically, they want us to grapple the dude, and they put acid into his mouth, and he's like, "No, not the acid!" Oh, right. And
it was up his nose. It was up his nose, and it was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty graphic.
So we're back at Dobbs in the sheriff's office now. Here to report a theft of a stolen body, and it was he says the pretty young waif. And also something about his reputation,
Well, yeah, it doesn't. Is this where he says he confronts Dobbs and asks if his wife Janet came to him to get a lesson plan on the dark arts, like voodoo, that she could use in her classroom? And Dobbs is extremely offended by it.
Yeah. So Janet, and they're all there. Janice is in the sheriff's office with him, right? When Dobbs walks in, because at this point she starts acting weird. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's right. So Dobbs is basically telling him, that your wife's been acting weird, right? Isn't that what he says? And he says that she visits me all the time, and he says because she thought I knew the black arts. And I wrote
right.
So. And something about you don't think the corpse just walked away or whatever, and then the phone rings, and it's Judy, and Judy's late or whatever. Something about grab the film, and they have a positive ID on George. So I guess they've been trying to find out who just to pinpoint who George was, so they can figure out if he was in fact the other guy that worked at the gas station, right? Yeah.
Right, and I love how they keep referencing St. Louis. And like, no, we just got a teletext from St. Louis about George, and I just thought it was funny. Nobody ever talks about St. Louis, And hey,
Sure.
St. Louis ain't a thing, but in this movie it is. Yeah. Well, I guess so.
So yeah, so at this point, so they get that positive ID on George. So it's all a big revelation at this point for Dan. Dan walks out on the street, and there's no one in the street. He's walking around. There's no one out there. Right?
Yeah.
Again with that cool.
It was fucking eerily deserted. I mean, like if you played the Michael Myers Halloween music right there, or any scary, it would have totally fit. Yeah.
So he's out in the streets, there's nobody out there, and he goes to the church, and he finds the guy Jimmy there painting, and that's the guy who had lost his arm, right? And got it back, I believe. Yeah, so that's the scene. Basically now he's at the graveyard, and there's a man there who is basically mowing the grass off of George's grave, and tells him to start digging, bitch, right? So do we know what so do we know what
Yeah.
He's,
Well,
he's
he
trying
wants
to
to
see
dig up. He wants to dig up George's body to make sure he's
Yeah.
actually in the ground.
in there. Yeah.
And
Yeah. So Dan's
yeah. And our groundskeeper and funeral, or grave digger goes, I don't fucking
Yeah.
dig them up.
Yeah.
I dig the hole. I don't
bury
dig
'em.
them back up.
Right.
Yeah, I don't do that shit.
Dan's back at the mortuary now, and a drawer opens up after. Oh, so Dan's at the mortuary looking for Dobbs. Dobbs not there. He leaves. After he leaves, a door, one of the drawers in the mortuary opens, and it's Dobbs, right? He basically gets out of one of the drawers. He was hiding.
Yeah. Like where you keep a dead body in the mortuary, like in the refrigerator. Yeah, and it just pops open, and he comes rolling out, and he's like, "Whoa, here I am."
Serious.
He's gangster.
Yeah, he was
So
quite a
they're at the
character.
graveyard now, no less than, I don't know what, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later. I don't know how big this town is, but he dug that grave up already. Like, he's done. I was like, I ain't believing that shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. He was around for like 20
open it up,
minutes.
and he said, I didn't open that shit. You open it. So Dan opens the coffin, and it's empty except for a heart wrapped in a sweater, a scarf.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
lo and behold,
Yeah.
they open it, the big reveal. There's no body.
Yeah.
There's no body. And
Right.
then he like unfolds some kind of sweater like 8 times because it's all wrapped up and it's a big reveal. Bam, human heart.
Yeah. And it's still beating. And it's still beating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's fucking.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Yeah. So scene. Let's see. And then Dan stops in and finds the milkman, or that maybe the gas station attendant, right? And takes his photograph, and then takes off driving, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Cause,
Oh, yeah.
Because he wants his secretary to telex, whoever. I mean, like, hey, can we get a positive ID on this guy?
He's dictating a telegram to Betty, asking for information on Doc.
Hey, and that girl could type.
Yeah, and she so then
He was typing.
Ernie said your film is ready. And something about did mention how freaked out Ernie was about said film, apparently. And Ernie, let's see. So he goes to see Ernie, pays Ernie. Ernie gives him his change. Ernie hands him. Ernie's hand is all fucked up. Right. So maybe again, this is the guy who lost his arm, right? Are we mixing these people up? Like, do we truly know who the guy was that lost his arm? Who he is, as far as the member of Potter's Bluff? Does anybody?
I'm not sure.
I haven't figured it out.
I mean, it was just, it's hard because like the lighting isn't out there. You don't really get like a full look at anybody. It's just like a short glimpse, and then it's just like this cutaway every time.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so Ernie's hands all fucked up. So outside he runs into God damn it, I didn't take the right notes there. Something about the end. The corpse has been disappearing. Oh yeah, and so you confront somebody talking about how corpses have been disappearing from graves. And Betty calls Dan back into the police station. And let's see. So apparently Dobbs. So according to the telegram, I guess is what it is that they get back. Dobbs was fired for unauthorized use of bodies, is what they're starting to learn. And then there's some more details. I guess he was, let's see, Dobbs was once chief pathologist in Providence, Rhode Island, but was fired for performing unauthorized experiments on corpses. So then at this point, Dan knows, that Dobbs is definitely some person of interest and something fishy's going on with Dobbs. So they're back at the house now. We're back at the house now, Dan's house, and he grabs the projector out of the closet. And when he pulls the projector out of the closet, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a bunch of flash bulbs and cameras in the back of the closet. All the photography equipment, basically. Grabs the projector, and again, these are the flashlights we see in all the flash bulbs that we see in all the murders we've seen so far. So he's down in I think he's down in a basement or something like that, like a man cave watching the video. And it's almost like some kind of Blair Witch footage looking shit, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a dude on top of some chick having sex, and they're in a room. They're like in a room surrounded by a bunch of other people that are all watching.
And recording.
And at some point, she's looking at this dude. So we can't really tell who either of them are, but all of a sudden the chick pulls out a knife and very awkwardly stabs this dude in the middle of the back, which seemed like
quite a few times. Quite a few times.
Fucking this dude up, right?
Yeah.
And so stabbing, and Lee.
But then we do get a look at said female's face.
So Lisa stab. So then the stabbing. Lisa comes out from behind a curtain, and people are watching from the windows. And as he's watching the film, all of a sudden the camera comes around the opposite side of the bed, and they zoom in, and the woman who was underneath the dude getting laid, stabbing the guy in the back.
Kidding.
Is boom, boom, boom.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
That bitch, and the whole town's there to watch this snuff film. Basically, this guy having sex with said lady, and then getting murdered.
Yeah. But he didn't
I guess
finish the whole thing.
that's how. In Potter's Bluff, this is how you get your jollies. This is what we do.
Yeah, so Dan's like, no, right, more or less, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's just seen his wife, and I did that in quotations, air quotes, just murder somebody, basically.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the whole
having sex, having sex, and then murdering somebody.
I think.
Yeah.
Danny didn't look at the
I
film
think the
long
murder
enough
is worse
to
than
realize
Yeah.
it was him. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of giving up part of the end of the film a little early. But he doesn't watch it long enough. He just sees her messing with some other dude and stabbing him, and then he's just heartbroken. He's just like fucking flipped out, like fuck.
Exactly.
He's all dodge, and then fucking next scene.
He is at this point pretty much lost it. I mean, he's unconsolable. He's and anybody, man or woman in that I would imagine in that having that reveal would be inconsolable. I mean, you'd be you'd be pretty messed up.
Yeah, I mean, he shows up with Dom's place with what is that? Looks like a 357 or something like that. It was a pretty damn big revolver.
Yeah, you mean his sidearm? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Man.
He
He was ready to rock and roll.
4-inch barrel 357, like
Yeah, so
ready to rock.
back
Like,
at the motel and confronts Dobbs, who reveals that he can reanimate the dead. Many townsfolk are his creations and under his control. Dobbs treats his work as art, sculpting flesh like clay. Shockingly, Janet is revealed to be among the reanimated.
Yeah, and that scene. I mean, Dobbs explaining his error, giving his explanation for all of this was pretty great. I mean, it was a really good scene. Actually, I thought.
Okay.
He should. Yeah, you should. Like, I mean, as long as it's not too long. Like his whole explanation of things and
oh yeah.
Okay, hey, you can call me. We can do a back and forth.
The next episode, when I do the Christopher Lee overdubs, it's going to be fun for Wicked Man. It's going to.
Oh God! Oh,
I can't wait. So let's see. Yeah. So basically, Dobbs goes on to tell Dan that Janet was my first love. Right? Isn't that what he's telling him? And he shows him, he was pointing at the movies up on the screen. I guess so. All of a sudden, Dobbs is like this AV setup in his fucking laboratory or with a laboratory or
whatever. He's got. I mean, and again, I guess the photography or whatever you want to call it, is this whole town photographer, or videographer, whatever, however you say the word, films everything. Whether it be stills or film. And yeah, because he's got like 3 or 4 projectors going, and it's on 3 or 4 different walls, and it's fucking with Dan's brain because he's hearing this stuff, he's seeing this stuff.
Children, that's my art,
It almost reminds me of Brad Pitt's breakdown in Seven. What's in the bags? I mean,
So, Dobbs goes on to tell Dan that Janet died because her car ran off the road and she died. It crashed in a creek and she died.
Crashed in the river.
Reanimated her, right? And then you notice the look on Dan's face when he starts to cry because he realizes he's been fucking a dead chick for who knows how many years now, right? So.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't know it was that. I mean, wasn't it cold? I mean, he's been fucking her. Wasn't it cold? Oh, I mean.
So yeah, basically, Dobbs is telling Dan, "I'm going to take my fucking. How do you do it?" Because Dan asks him how he does it, and Dobbs says, "No explanation here because it's too much for the writers. I'm taking my secret to the grave." Yeah.
I'm taking it to the grave.
Too much for the writers. Good one. Yeah.
So Dan hard, and he goes on to talk about it. He can't bear to bury them. Doesn't he threaten to kill Dobbs? If you want, he's like, "I'm bringing it back," right? Kind of thing, more or less. Yeah. Jenny talking about her rough day, right? She's just kind of acting like nothing's going on. And isn't part of her face already starting to fall off? She's starting to rot.
Well, not yet. He goes up. Our hero, quote unquote, Sheriff Dan, goes up and kind of slashes her face. I think with maybe his fingernail or something, and she gets, and she gets a cut, and she's like, "Hey, what have you done?"
Yeah. So Dan horrified, basically, Dan shoots her, because he just can't bear it anymore, and she keeps talking. And bang, 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 he's shooting Janet, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Chill out, because it ain't doing nothing. Like, she's just still talking, right?
I mean, she's like, do you want, beef stroganoff for dinner, or maybe pork chops? I've got potatoes at home. Yeah, just normal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
program to please.
Right.
Yeah.
But then she does, after he shoots her a few times, she does come to realize, she's like, "I'm dead." Please bury
Yeah.
me.
And so he
Yeah.
goes and shoots Dobbs, blows his he shoots Dobbs, right? And basically that's kind of the end of Dobbs, right?
Yeah.
And Dan kind of lets out this kind of like moment of relief after, I don't know. Yeah, right? It was weird.
Yeah.
Like,
And like a banshee cry. Oh my god.
so that's the scene. So that's the scene. Basically kills Dobbs. That's the end of the bad guy. Now it's a scene. We're in the graveyard.
So
And what is this here? Dan is looking for Jen.
He fought,
well, no, he's now burying her, and
Right.
she's
yeah.
asking him to bury it, and he's actively burying her, and then dun dun dun, the whole
He falls
fucking
asleep.
town's there again.
Bro, he
the
fought-
town's
They're on WhatsApp
to
or
pay their
Instagram Instant
respect.
Messenger. Uh-huh.
But he falls asleep though. He falls asleep after he buries her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the one guy came over and woke him up and gave him flowers to the grave. And then the whole town started coming in, and it was like the whole town was like everybody in the town.
They're all paying their respects and
Yeah.
patting him on the shoulder, and they got like freaking cuts and freaking,
Yeah,
the
and you're right.
decomposing.
And you're right, Eddie. The whole town at this point has not been touched up by Dobbs in a day or whatever, a few days, because he does say before our hero Dan, Sheriff Dan, kills or shoots Dobbs, that that Janet could go 3 to 4 weeks without a touch up.
Without a
And
touch up.
everybody else could only go a few days. Everybody else had to come in
Janet,
and get their lacerations painted or whatever.
Janet
And
is his masterpiece.
his masterpiece.
So
Correct.
he wakes
Yeah,
up and there's a
correct.
smoker there, and he's like, Janet. Right. And that's that. And all of a sudden, one last thing, I think they call it the denouement in France. It's like the thing after the thing. It's a French film term. Basically,
You fancy fuck.
we're back at the
Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. Yeah.
We're now at the graveyard, and now George's grave is crossed
Oh,
out, and it says here, it says Janet, and she's lying in the grave whimpering. Right? The final scene.
Yeah, she want. I mean, maybe the shots from his 357 kind of not woke her up, but made her realize that she was dead and she doesn't want to be the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And therefore, like, bury me so I can,
Fetal position.
rest at peace. Yeah, rest at peace.
And so they switch back to the mortuary, and there's Dobbs searching for like
Right.
a favorite record or whatever the fuck it is. Just kind of randomly. And then she's back to the graveyard. Dan is burying Janet one handful of dirt at a time. And we're back to just switching back and forth now.
That would have taken a long time.
On makeup, and then Dan's still burying Janet, and then back to Dobbs filling himself with formaldehyde. And so now we've officially, it's explained that that Dobbs is dead. So that the graveyard and townsfolk show up, and they're giving condolences and laying flowers on the grave. Everyone is literally falling apart, and everyone is in on it. We basically learn that everyone in the town is in on what's going on. And it takes.
Yeah, they've all been reanimated by by Dobbs.
And the town folks attack, and Dan's screaming, "Don't touch me!" as he runs away. And the next scene, we're back at the mortuary, and it's Dobbs. And one more thing you should know, and he reveals in the movie that Dan was the person Jack stabbed to death. Dan looks down and realizes his hands are deteriorating, and then Dobbs says, "Come, Dan, let me fix it." And we freeze frame, just like the Fall Guy. And that's the end.
So before the end, so I got the silence.
Pressing F music starts.
Go.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So with Dobbs reanimating himself and injecting himself with whatever this or
Yeah.
might be to how it, and then he starts putting makeup. I got Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill. Like, would you fuck me? I would fuck me.
Yeah.
If they had played whatever that song, I can't remember whatever that song is from Silence of the Lambs. It would have been hilarious. It didn't exist then, but it would have been great.
All right. Well, that was that the end of the movie? Yeah, the depressing music kicks back on, and
Yeah. And then credits
so,
and
that was
credits. Yeah,
1981's
that's
Dead
it.
and Buried. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be back with the 2-minute warning.
Welcome back to the Heavy Door Horror Podcast.
I'm important. I have something to say.
Don't be a coward, son. Speak your mind.
Was she a great big fat person?
So why does your opinion matter more than my opinion?
Get your shit together, Danny.
Oh, good for you.
All right, let's get into it. So this is the 2-minute warning. Started as a 3-minute warning. We're down to 90 seconds. You guys comfortable with 90 seconds again for this week? All right, let's go.
No, that's great.
Let's go ahead and start. Let me just switch this back over here. Let's go ahead and start with
Thank you, Eddie.
Eddie. That was the wrong sample, but you're going to go ahead and take your time anyway. You got 90 seconds on the clock. What did you think of Dead and Buried?
All right, gentlemen. So, welcome to Potter's Bluff. Never thought that line would actually scare me, but to be honest with you, I was more scared the second time I watched the film than I was the initial time. The fact of knowing what happened in the film and then watching it a second time, and it like scared me even worse. That's props to the film writers and the director. Less filler, more thriller. This movie really didn't have a lot of there wasn't much unnecessary banter. I mean, all the story moved along. There's a lot of subtle and yet distinct foreshadowing. I mean, geez, the first scene leads into a kill. It's great. Gets straight to the point. You know what I mean? So I felt that this movie was a standout. I feel that it earned its, it earned its stripes on its own merit. Not trying to fight off everybody else. The kills weren't senseless. Let me see here. All the photo taking scared the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like, it just added that extra agony to everything, man. Fuck, man. I think the writer did a great job. The movie's way better than I thought it would be. Well done.
Right on time. I told you not to do that ever again. Stupid computer. All right. So who's up next? Who do we got up next?
Hi, I'm Brother Eric.
Give it up for Eric. Eric, you got 90 seconds on the clock.
Well, I'd have to laugh after that. Dead and Buried. I enjoyed it. I was, I don't know. I enjoyed it and I didn't. So I enjoyed the deaths, the kills. I was not incredibly enamored with the way the movie flowed or moved, even though it did. It did. It didn't really grab me. I will say I did have to watch it multiple times because I fell asleep the first time watching it. And so that's something. But I mean, Dr. Dobbs, Mortician Dobbs, he was an evil motherfucker. And I enjoyed that greatly. I mean, and this whole town, I've driven through many towns like this in my escapades of driving around, camping, whatever. And hence why I don't usually spend time in towns like this. Get in, get out. Get the fuck away from these.
Yeah.
And I want nothing to do with you. All in all, it was enjoyable. I enjoyed the deaths. The flash bulbs were a bit much,
You got time
but
down. Flash bulbs were a bit much.
but the flash bulbs were a bit much, but I thought they were appropriate for the movie. So there you go.
Right. Well, let's move it on to
Kim, stay focused, baby. This is key.
All right, Kim, stay focused. You got 90 seconds.
I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was like a slow start. It was really, I don't want to say groundbreaking, but it's different from all the other movies. It was like on its own league. I want to say. I really liked the ending. It was like um inspired to The Sixth Sense. Where Bruce Willis is like, oh my God, I'm the ghost. And Dan was like, oh, I'm a zombie. I could see that's where they got the inspiration from. Um, I thought the girls were hot. I think the guys, like, this is your typical town, small American town, great cars, great storyline. Aside from the fact that they didn't show us how he reanimates them, but I think that suspense um works. They're like, let's just keep the suspense and figure that out at a different time. But yeah, all in all, it was a great movie. It's like a slow start, but once you sit down, you focus, and it was like it's not like high energy, it's just kind of this low energy. Um, you got to focus kind of movie. Yeah, it was great.
All right, stop it. Let's see. Who's up next? Who would it be?
Danny for Benny, banana for Benny, Danny.
All right, I'm gonna give myself 90 seconds. Let's see. Let's go ahead. All right. Dead and Buried. So I've seen this movie. This is probably the third time I've seen it. I saw it back in the early 2000s. I saw it about a year ago. And then the soundtrack came out maybe about a year ago. And picked that up and just kind of got back into, I think that's why I watched it about a year ago. Just out of the blue. Soundtrack's pretty good. It's not great. That song, I don't believe, is on the record. That horrible, depressing song. As far as the movie goes, it's pretty good. It stands out on its own as, it's a very specific undead movie. It's not exactly a traditional zombie flick. It definitely falls into a very outlier zombie category. I don't like the part where they don't explain to you how he does it. That's fucking weak as fuck. That's fucking lazy writing. It's not that complicated, dude. You could literally have just told me that, you sprinkle this on their fucking heads when they're sleeping and done. It could be anything. It doesn't need to be that complicated. But I thought they kind of, crapped out on that. I do love the town. I would like to live in a little New England seaside town like that. I love those places. I think they're cool. I love this saltwater air and all.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it's a good movie. It's definitely not a bad movie. It's definitely a unique movie. Something's clicking in the background. Somebody playing with a pen? Yeah, what is that clicking? Okay, that's weird. Anyway.
Is that my TV? I can't hear the TV.
Like somebody's playing with a pen. That's weird.
I heard it.
You hear that clicking?
Way to go, Kim. Way to go, Kim.
Yeah, there it goes again. Do you hear
that?
Not me.
I guess I was talking, so. I could be clicking on that mouse.
Yeah. That's what she said.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know. I just heard it.
Huh. Okay, well, that was my review of, that was my 2-minute warning review of Dead and Buried. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll be back with the statistics from Eddie.
The Heavy Door Horror Podcast.
Now for Eddie with facts, figures, and trivia. In this segment, The Breakdown.
Y'all ready for this?
All right, real quick, Wires Exposed. I edited out the Louis part the last time since we did it as a group with Eddie. And I'll make a new one eventually. But all right, Eddie, take it away.
All right, gentlemen. Here we go. We got Dead and Buried, released May 29th of 1981. 92 minutes long, directed by Gary Sherman, excuse me. Screenplay was done by Ronald Shusett and Dan O'Bannon. Story by Alex Stern and Jeff Miller. Produced by Robert Fentress, Richard R. St. John, and Ronald Shusett with Aspen Productions and Barclay Mercantile Industrial Finance. Quick note, Aspen Productions was actually bought by Guinness. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the budget numbers. Budget was $5 to $6 million in 1981. Box office came out to $216,166 in 81. So in today's money, that would be like 18 to 21 million in to realize $780,000. It was a bomb.
What?
Yeah. Starring James Ferrantino as Sheriff Dan Gillis. We have Melody Anderson as Janet Gillis. Jack Albertson as William G. Dobbs. Dennis Redfield as Ron, and we have Nancy Locke as Linda. That was the couple who made it in with the child that felt pretty bad about those two people getting victimized. We have Lisa Blount as Lisa. I mean, they couldn't come up with any other name, but they're like, yeah, and you know what? We'll just call you Lisa and make it easy. We got
Hey, it worked for me.
Go ahead.
I think there's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason they do that in Hollywood. I think it has something to do with people that can't even remember lines, let alone the character name.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Continuing on, we have Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger as Harry. We have Bill Quinn as Ernie, our photo mat guy. We got Michael Curry as Herman. I don't know who the hell he was. I'm trying to think. Christopher. Why didn't I write this dude's last name down? The guy who played George Lemoyne. Let me look it up. I can figure this out. Just one moment. Yeah, if you can pull it up faster than me right now, because I already clicked off the damn.
Oh, you know what? Well, no, you know what? I have to get my backup keyboard.
Oh, Danny, Fanny.
Danny, get your shit together.
Christopher, I got it. Christopher Allport as George Lemoyne, aka Freddy. We have George Medalis as the Doctor. We have Estelle Omen as Betty. Barry Corbin as Bill. A lot of first name only characters in this movie. We have Macon McCalman as Ben. He was our hotel guy. We have Michael Pataki as Sam, our gravedigger. We have Glenn Morshower as Jimmy, and Lisa Marie as our hitchhiker. And that's it. And that's all for our stats.
All right. All right. Anybody got some trivia? Anybody bring me?
I got two of them.
All right.
Who's Eric?
Don't answer that.
Hi, Eric. Who are you?
Good.
I'm right here. Thank you for asking. So our director, Gary Sherman, initially wanted this to be a really dark comedy. But production was pushed for more traditional horror elements, or pushed in more of a traditional horror elements way. And the finished film included some gore scenes that were added by the producers, which Sherman was not happy about,
So we can breathe
and he thought it lowered the quality of the film.
Can you repeat that last part?
So the finished film included some gore scenes that were added by the producers that the original director Gary Sherman thought lowered the quality of the film.
Oh, so it could have been gory.
Well, you know, no. I mean, the finish included more gory scenes.
Oh, it's the final cut.
Yeah, the final.
Yeah, so they added more gore to the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they're probably they're trying to be a little bit more of a legitimate movie, not so sleazy, and I think by cutting back on the kind of cheesy the gore, because I mean, you can only impress so much with special effects in 1981. So.
Yeah, and then I've got another trivia fact. Jack Albertson, who I immediately I saw in the movie that none of us mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking Charlie's dad or Charlie's grandfather from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Dobbs. Dobbs is the grandfather from Charlie and the
So
Chocolate.
Dobbs is Grandpa Joe?
Yeah, Grandpa Joe.
Wow.
That piece of shit that laid in bed until Charlie got a golden ticket, and all of a
So
sudden
Charlie wanted to go to a chocolate factory, and then he jumps out of bed like he ain't got fucking nothing wrong with it.
like he'd never had a problem in his life, Eddie. Yep.
That's a good
Whole
one.
family living in poverty, and but
Nope.
anyway.
So this was his last. Go ahead.
The old man was in which movie? William, the one with Johnny Depp?
No.
No,
The
the
original
original.
one that we all saw as kids.
Grandpa Joe.
With Gene Wilder.
Charlie and the
Schnozberries
Chocolate
taste like
Factory.
schnozberries.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
You never seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, bro? Come on, man.
What it's called? Isn't it called?
Actually, it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Willy Wonka.
No. The original was called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
The original was called Willy Wonka. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. Danny, you're a piece of shit because you never saw that movie. I don't know what's wrong with you. Anyway, so this was his last film.
Get together, Danny.
And because he had cancer, and he passed away shortly after this film, after filming this movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. His name again, I will say, Jack Albertson. Yeah. And I mean, and again, I'll just reiterate, I can't believe you've never seen fucking Gene Wilder's rendition of. There's something wrong with you there.
You're definitely.
I'm going to say it right now. Hand to God, you should see it. I mean, I know it's disturbing. We got the Oompa all that shit. They're probably child, or midget, or they prefer little people, exploitation. But you got to see the movie.
Yeah, you're dead to me, Dan.
And I was wrong. It is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
I got a fun fact about Dead and Buried. So, because of child labor laws back then, the kid was not allowed to film at nighttime. So what they did was they covered the whole scene in a tent to make it look like it was nighttime. And they had.
Are you talking about are you talking about Charlie and Chocolate Factory, or the movie we're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Dead and Buried. Yeah, Dead and Buried. We're not revealing Willy Wonka right now.
They went through all that trouble just to film one scene with the kid when they could have just waited till the sun.
Yeah. No, they can't because of child labor laws. They can't film the kid at nighttime.
At night, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably because you've never seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
Okay, so
I got a couple here.
So,
Oh,
So they
are you
covered.
done or?
No, I'm still going. So they covered the whole scene in a tent to make it look like it was nighttime. Uh, and it was like, it was kind of stuffy in there, so they had all these fans running so all the crew can breathe, right? But the fans were making so much noise that they couldn't use the original take because of the sound, so they had to dub over it, and that's why Nancy's mouth kept moving even though she wasn't saying anything. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That was the
they
first
had
time.
to ADR everything in post.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it was that was a whole dub scene, which I didn't even know until I read it that time. Yeah.
Sounds like fucking nightmare film.
And again, I will just say I don't know anybody who's never seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory
Yeah,
with Gene
yeah.
Wilder, and you're a piece of shit. And you're a piece of shit.
You know why none of the characters have last names? Because that involves being creative and writing. And again, it just takes too much effort.
Yeah. This is Bob.
Go ahead.
They,
You got some. You got.
they were too busy putting up.
right.
They were too busy putting up the tent and turning on the fans.
Yeah, I got a couple fun ones. So Melody Anderson's reactions to being shot were pretty authentic because one of the squibs that was set up to explode actually like popped off and like flew up past her face, and you know what I mean, like it flew up and like right near her ear and scared the shit out of her, and she was actually like partially deaf for like a while after that scene, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's how you. That's real filmmaking right there. That's good stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the real. That's how the greats do it. That's how the greats do it.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get those candid shots, you know?
So the girl,
Too real.
the woman, what is it? Melody Anderson. So I know her. Like, what other movies do you guys know her from? Because I know her from.
Well, yeah, she was Sam Jones love interest in Flash Gordon.
Yeah. And I knew her, and then she was also on what was it? She was on.
She's probably on the Love Boat.
TV shows.
Yeah, the Love
She
Boat.
was in Chuck Norris's she was in Firewalker with Chuck Norris and Lou Goff.
That's a classic.
And then so she did the whole thing too on TV. So check this out. She was on. Are you ready for this? Check this out. You ready? She was on BJ and the Bear, Archie Bunker's Place, Dallas, T.J. Hooker, The Fall Guy, Chips, The A-Team, and Manimal. She did.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, sounds about.
Yeah,
she only missed
Welcome Back, Kotter.
She only missed Falcon Crest and Dynasty.
Yeah, it's just right. That would have been this is the last couple things on the list.
Magnum PI. You know,
Battlestar Galactica. Jeez,
Hmm?
that's wild. That's why, when I was watching this, I was like, that girl looks unbelievably familiar to me. And it's because I watched all of those shows I just listed. I watched all those shows. So,
yeah, as a child.
It makes perfect sense. And then, like, she came on the screen and I was like, is she like somebody I'm related to or something? She seemed very familiar to me. All right, well, let's see. Let's go ahead.
Oh, I got another fact for you. Got another fun one. So this movie was not shot in New England.
So it's probably.
It was filmed. It was filmed in Mendocino, California.
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew that looked like California. I've been to the East Coast, and Rhode Island has some shores that are rocky and stuff and whatnot. Rhode Island's tiny, but the whole Eastern Seaboard. I fucking knew that was California.
So Danny, you were mentioning how you'd love how you'd love to go to a city like that. Well, you know what? You can just cut right up to Mendocino, man. It's right here. Not too far. It's don't throw away. Also, the director intentionally chose foggy scenes to film while on location. since the film's, since it was supposed to be set in Maine. Um, but there's one last thing I wanted to mention about the weather. On the opening scene, the day that they recorded that opening beach scene, the weather was too beautiful, so the director had constructed a huge flag to hang from the rigging, like over a cliff, to block most of the sunlight, so it could be shot with a dim atmosphere.
I think did an awful lot of extra work just to make this happen. Again, that's why nobody has a
Yeah.
last name. That's why Dobbs doesn't have any fucking secrets. It's all good, man. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eddie.
All right.
Good job. Good job, Eddie. That was a good pull.
Thank
That was
you,
a good
Eddie.
pull.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
The Heavy Door Horror Podcast.
All right, and we're back with the stats. We're back with the stats for 1981's Dead and Buried. We're going to go ahead and get the stat sheet up here and start at the top of the order as per usual. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off so it doesn't keep making sounds while we're recording. Let's go ahead and start with
Eddie, can you blow us bubbles so we can breathe underwater?
All right, Eddie, you know what I'm going to need from you?
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
All right. Eddie, first of all,
No.
in a word, how would you describe the film Dead and Buried?
Terrifying.
You know what? I forgot. Let me get my background right here because I can't type. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's see. Go ahead. You're gonna say terrifying.
Yeah, I'm saying terrifying because, like, I mean, first things first is if you were replaced without your knowledge, and then it comes light that you were replaced, you were reanimated, and you have no idea about it, and then you have like video proof of that, like that'd be fucking scary as shit, man. I'd be fucking mortified. And then on top of that too, it's just it scared me. It scared me more watching it the second time, knowing like how the plot laid out. Like I already know what's going to go on in the movie, and I was actually like more freaked out about it than the first time I watched my initial
So you watched the movie twice
playthrough
for the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it a bunch of times for the podcast. I watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's hard to focus. It was like really slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing
I'll watch a movie twice because sometimes I feel like I might miss something the first time I watch it.
Yeah.
So if you watch it twice, what was your favorite scene?
Oh man, my favorite scene was when the townsfolk come to pay their respects after after Danny buries Janet, just to see like his expression. He's just like, what the fuck? And then just to see everybody coming out, they're like falling apart. They've got their skins like coming separated, and they're just walking up there, just patting him on his shoulder, like, yeah, we're sorry, dude. Yeah, you may want to leave town after this. It's like fucking hey, that would fucking to put myself in Danny's shoes. Like I was just like, man, I just felt for that character hella much. I was like, that was that was my favorite character.
All right. What about your favorite character?
You just asked me.
No, I just asked your favorite scene.
Oh, my favorite scene. Oh, my favorite character was Sheriff Danny.
Oh, that was
yeah.
That's your favorite character.
Yeah, that's I kind of doubled like both of my answers into one statement.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about your letter rating? What would you give it? And then also your score.
I'm gonna call it a B movie. I mean, I think as well as I feel like it was put together. I mean, there were certain things lacking from the writer's perspective, but I didn't really like the movie. I'm gonna give it 4 skulls.
Wow.
I really liked the movie. And I actually thought, like, I mean, for me anyway, I thought it was pretty scary. And I love the fact that it started off with a kill and they just ran with it, and then the kills kept coming.
What about your backpack item? You had something.
Oh man, a dark pair of shades. Fucking all those fucking flash bulbs and shit like that. I'd be like, fuck that. Oh.
Okay. And then did you see anybody in this movie that did not know they were in a movie? Anybody that couldn't act? Again, this is an optional.
No.
Optional question.
Yeah, no comment on that.
Okay, fair enough. And then, would Louis like this movie?
No, I don't think Louis would like.
All right, let's move it on down the line. Let's see.
Hey, Eric. How you doing, Eric?
Okay, Eric, what I need from you.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
All right, in a word, how would you describe this film?
You can have them all,
okay,
if you'd like.
Arnold.
I mean, once the Terminator walks in, yeah, here you go. There you go.
Take him off in the bathroom?
Shit, I'll take him off right here.
In a word, how would you describe Dead and Buried?
In a word, I'm gonna say photography. Because they were taking pictures and film in this movie like I haven't seen, and I can't remember. I can't think of another movie where they took so many pictures or film or anything like that ever.
That might be the funniest thing that's been said on it.
So we're going photography. Photography.
What's your favorite scene?
So my favorite scene in the movie was when Dobbs reanimates. It breaks down our hitchhiker lady, and then reanimates her back to life. I thought, I mean, the time you want to call it time lapse, whatever. That was awesome.
It's like a Frankenstein scene.
That was my favorite scene.
I agree.
Her name was Chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Chance had her chance, and they took it away from her. Yeah. And then, yeah. It went awry. My favorite character was the whole town. The whole town. How they came together and somehow managed to all be there at once and not only take pictures, film, and kill people. It was really good. It was really good. It's the whole town. It's all a Potter's fluff. It's all a Potter's fluff.
UPS starts bringing photography equipment.
It was pretty outstanding. They really were on top of their shit. They were on top of their game, and and didn't miss a beat.
All right. So how about your letter rating and your skull rating? And believe me, once again, all letters are on the board. Don't forget A, B, C.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give it. It's a B movie, in my opinion. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, it was well shot, well made, but could have been done better. I would have to say yes, and I'm gonna give it a 2 skulls. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The dose.
How about your backpack on?
Out. My backpack item would have been just a pack of smokes, because I would have bought a pack of cigarettes and just lean back and watch these motherfuckers, the whole town, just do their thing. Just do their thing. Yeah.
And then anybody that stuck out as not knowing they were in a film? Anybody that could?
Honestly, I think everybody knew they were in a film and did their best work. And I can't point out or want to say can't point out or say anything bad about one actor or the other. I think they all acted quite well.
Okay.
Yeah.
No answer. And then, do you think Willie would like this movie?
I think he would hate it. I think he would hate it. No doubt. I think he would have been so pissed off having to watch this movie that it would have made it more enjoyable for us watching his agony, But yeah.
All right, let's move on down the line here. Who's next?
And now a word
All right,
from Kim
Keegan,
here.
what do you got for me? In a word, how would you describe the film Dead Birdy?
Innovative. Yeah. I bet you thought I was gonna say bland, huh?
Good job, Cam. Good job. Way to call it back.
Me no vocabulary.
I got sugar to see photography. No. How about your favorite scene?
The beginning where he was taking pictures and the girl took off her shirt. That was my favorite.
Yeah, you would like that thing. You would like that thing. Yeah, you would like that thing.
Come on, man.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
How about your favorite character?
Dobbs.
Oh, that was pretty
Yeah.
awesome. He's up there.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's good.
Solid.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
As far as letter rating and your skull rating, what do you got for us?
Absolutely. This was a B movie. This your classic B movie. I gave it a 3.5 skull.
That's safe.
Yeah.
And then for your backpack item, we got anything?
Probably one of the cameras, maybe.
Try.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Join the party.
Have a camera, be like, what? I'm like you guys. I'm dead. I got it.
I'm one of you.
And then, was there anybody that couldn't act well, and even stood out in the movie? Did not know they were in the movie?
I want to say the kid's mom,
Oh yeah.
but maybe the kid too. They didn't really do much towards the movie, but yeah.
I like it. We'll put you down for the kid. And then with
Okay. Louis would absolutely hate this film.
So we're all agreed on that at least.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. You have the kid, and then that's a no for Louis. All right. Well, let's see. Who's up next? Who do we have? Who could do it? Who can do it? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take my turn.
Danny for Fanny, banana for Fanny, Danny.
Let's see. I like to call this. Yeah. It's foggy.
You have any problems with your urinary tract over there, pal? Or
I thought I had something clever to say, but I couldn't really come up with anything interesting. It was, I mean, that's the one thing I will remember. It was, I mean, I guess in a word, I'd say foggy, but like once you mentioned all the stuff about covering houses to shoot scenes and all this, a lot of stuff started. I was like, oh, okay. Like the whole thing at the house when they were chasing that family around, that shit was so weird. It's just, yeah, it was weird.
It was.
Favorite scene would definitely, I'd probably have to take the reanimation scene as well. The reanimation scene, that is, again, I'm pretty sure that's going to be your Stan Winston guy at work. And he's known for those types of, like quality special effects. My favorite character, I'm going with Janet, honestly. I thought Janet was cool because she was totally full of shit and she was like sleeping around. And, like she was like horrible. She was like about as bad of a wife, like for a wife in a film. It's about as bad as you can get. I mean, not only did she fucking fuck around on him, not only has she been lying to him the whole time. But turns out he's fucking dead, probably because of her. It's just like it's all. Yeah, she was pretty.
Well, that's probably because of her. We see in the film it is because of her. Yeah. She's a goddamn bitch.
Yeah, she's just pure evil, just all around. So for my letter rating, I'm not going to call this a B flick. Actually, I'm going to call this. I'm sorry, I need to say the word A. See, here's the thing. So this movie, granted, the writing's not great, okay, but they brought Stan Winston in, who was a big deal at the time and would be still a big deal for a while. I don't know if he's still alive, but probably had been at it for a long time after that. And the other thing too is when you're talking a couple of years after Alien, and the guy who wrote Alien is involved in another movie, they're putting out money. This is not B movie money. This may look like a B movie, I'll give you that, but it's definitely not a B movie as far as what they went through to put this all together. Because again, Dan O'Bannon wrote one of the biggest movies of like the 70s, basically. Alien was huge. You know what I mean? It was a very big deal. And
It was kind of the quintessential, like mainstream, good horror movie.
Yeah, but
and not just horror movie, but good movie. I mean, of what 1978, whenever it came out, 79. Yeah, I mean, it was huge. I mean, Alien.
But it bombed in the box. It bombed in the box office, so it can't.
Off at the box office, but it did eventually start making money. Yeah, because it was. I think it was in the movie theaters for a while and all that stuff. It ended up being a very big deal after the fact. It wasn't necessarily, like it didn't make blockbuster numbers, but I'd say by the time they were working on this film, I think Dan O'Bannon was in demand. I think that they knew he had, or at least.
And look what's happened. All right, we're recording this on a Tuesday night, and right now on a Tuesday night, Alien Earth has dropped on Hulu, which I mean, so you want to talk about longevity and not being a flop. I mean, they've now made a TV show after what, 5 movies, 6 movies, Alien movies, 6, 7. Yeah, I am.
Nonsense. I think there's 6, 7 of them or something like that.
Yeah, shit. It's more. Yeah, it's way more than that. Yeah. So I mean,
A rating. I think a 3.5 is fair. I think it's safe. I wouldn't even say. I'm gonna even give it a 3.25. I mean, it wasn't a solid movie, but it wasn't a bad movie. I don't know that.
Hey, don't go corner. Don't go corner.
No, I'm sticking with it. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
again, if he had just maybe come a little more clear with how he had this ability to bring people back to life and all that, maybe I'd have given it a little bit more credit, but they kind of cheated us out of that, and I thought that was kind of weak. For a backpack item, I take a makeup kit. From Dogville, like, hook me up, bro. And then, yeah, I mean, the kid and the lady for sure. I'm just going to put the kid. I mean, I was thinking that, because they weren't really expected to do much, and that's exactly what they did. Not much, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that was the stats for Dead and Buried 1901. Now we got to figure out. Eddie is picking the film this week, and Eddie, go ahead and pick the film. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say real quick.
All right.
The category for the week is the occult, and that landed on Eddie. Go ahead.
Yep. All right. So my pick this week. This one should be exciting. I have not watched the film yet, but I have seen the trailer and thought it was a good one to run with. So we're going with 1975's Race with the Devil.
Say the words. All right, we're going to go ahead and check out this trailer.
2 men on a dream vacation.
What the hell are they doing? I sure think they killed her.
Back!
Frank, they've seen us.
And get trapped in an unbelievable nightmare.
Turn off the light! Why? What's wrong? What are you guys up to? What?
20th Century Fox presents Race the Devil.
We saw somebody murdered.
What?
Some sort of ritual across the river. A girl got stabbed. They're chasing us.
starring Peter Fonda and Warren Oates. There was nowhere they could hide.
Alice, look what was stuck to the back window. It's some kind of message. Witchcraft. Witches?
There was no one they could trust.
I killed my dog.
Well, did anybody hear anything? Didn't anybody see anything?
Go on with your trip. Have a good time. Leave this up to me.
There was nothing they could do.
They followed us all the way from Bandera. They're here right now watching us.
But run. And fight.
Shoot him, Frank!
And race with the devil.
There's somebody on top!
Frank has got to leave!
We gotta stay in here! Don't go up!
Peter Fonda, Warren Oates, Loretta Swit, Lara Parker. Race with the devil. When you race with the devil, you'd better be faster than hell.
That was a trailer for Race with the Devil. What were you saying, Eric?
It looks very Hills Have Eyes and or The Car.
Yeah.
You know, but Peter Fonda, shit, looks good.
There's all kinds of famous 70s people in there, man. That's gonna be
Yeah.
that's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Oh boy, that's gonna be an interesting one. Okay, well that's a good pick. I've heard of that movie. I don't think I've ever seen that for sure. Well, all right. Well, that was the pod, everybody. That was Dead and Buried from 1981. Before we go, let the irregulators say goodnight for the evening. We'll start out with Eddie. Eddie, you want to say anything to the people before we go home?
All right, everybody. It's been fun as usual. Have a good night, everybody. Keep watching these scary movies. Keep joining us for the podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends or don't, but as long as you come through, that's all that matters, right? So, have a good night, everybody.
Right on. And Mr. Eric, you got anything to say before we go?
Yeah. Good night tonight, and thanks for everybody sharing, following, and liking, and stay scary.
All right. And Tim Ham, you got anything to say to the people before we sign off for the evening?
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Had a lot of fun. One thing I wanted to say is, if you guys like or give us some feedback, I think that'd be nice. If you guys have any comments or anything like that, just add it to the comment side and let us know what you think too,
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. I agree with that 100%. Sign up, subscribe, like, check out the episodes. We're slowly getting our act together over here. So some of the episodes may be a little off, but we're only going to get better. The more you listen, we'll be back every week. Well, that was again the Heavy Door Horror Podcast for what is it here? September 16, 2025. My name is Heavy Door Dan.
And Viva La Mexico.
Viva La Mexico, and always assume that the call is coming from inside of the house.
When I first met Andy Dufresne, he told me about the Heavy Door Horror.
Everything is garbage.
Don't act like you're not impressed.